Hi Aries, here is a general look at your solar chart for December 2012. But before I speak about what may be happening in your life as far as your solar chart's concerned, on the level of your personality in this month, just a word about this month, which is no ordinary December, as you may or may not have heard. So on the winter solstice, this winter solstice on the 21st of December, the moon is going to be in your sign, Aries, the pioneer of the zodiac, the initiator of the zodiac. The sun will be on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, but in the Ophiuchus area of Sagittarius. And it will be conjunct Juno, which is an asteroid, and in a wide conjunction with Pluto, and not very far away from Uranus. Uranus and Pluto I've spoken about before as being the heralds of change and transformation across the whole planet, not just for you, but in fact it is influencing your sign very, very strongly, and has been for a few years now, and will continue that for 2 to 3 more. Juno represents a collective remembering about why we as spirits came down into these dimensions in the first place, these domains of limitations, this density, especially at this pivotal moment in Earth's long history. And from here we will be reminded increasingly, from here on, we will be reminded increasingly of the contracts linked to the past, to our deep past, to our soul family, and our spiritual path. December the 21st, 2012 is no ordinary solstice. It's the turning point moment when the Sun, Juno, and Pluto, along with the other planets, will help us emerge from the long galactic winter of 25,626 years into the first rays of the galactic spring, and we begin to awaken from the long sleep of forgetfulness as at last our solar system turns and begins orbiting back towards the galactic center from which we come, and we come home to the truth of ourselves as spiritual beings of light. That's what we always have been, and that's what we will increasingly be able to remember now we are coming out of this time of sleep. So as we begin the age of Aquarius, the long remembering begins in earnest. We're already in a time of the quickening and things accelerating, but from that solstice in December, things will start to speed up, and we will begin to remember not only our origins at the beating heart of the love and the unity at the center of the universe, but also at the center of ourselves, but we come back into right relationship with the mothership, with Mother Earth herself. So without further ado, this month, the Sun has entered a very good area for you, Aries. It's a more adventurous, expansive time, which tends to raise the spirits. It's more upbeat and helps you to see outside of the routine box. Probably you're not going to be feeling that so much until after the 11th. Some of you could have itchy feet, and in fact this is a very good time for you to get out and about more, to get into areas, whether there's physical ones or mental ones that you're not used to, and maybe test the waters on something. Maybe you are learning from others in some way. It's a great time to travel or to plan a holiday. So however it is for you, inwardly or outwardly, you're more likely to get into a place where you can zoom out and refresh your spirits and get things in perspective. On the 3rd, you could be feeling more idealistic, but don't be unrealistic. And from the 21st, you will be taking your worldly responsibilities more seriously. and wanting to come up to certain standards maybe. And when the Sun makes a perfect conjunction with Pluto on the 29th, 30th, then there could be some inner turmoil, but you should just follow your deeper drives and trust your instincts. There's a new moon worth a mention that's happening on the 13th and signals new beginnings connected to reaching out into new areas over the coming months for you, Aries. Now, Mercury, until the 11th, Mercury continues to be in this rather sort of introspective, more involved place where conversations could become more involved. Maybe you're looking at the financial aspects of things. A relationship could be centered around property, a space, possessions, anything belonging to or over which you have joint responsibility or you share with another. Some of you at this time could also be taking or giving confidential advice. There could be things that you're keeping the lid on. Definitely a time not to rely so much on the logic, but to kind of sense your way forwards, as your gut knowing will be stronger. Also at this time, you could it could be easier to push your buttons really, but just trust your gut and avoid knee-jerk reactions. And then from the 11th, then things get more upbeat and more extrovert. Your mind may be more focused on the out there instead of the in here, which is always a good thing for you as a fire sign. More focused on travel or maybe another type of unfamiliar sort of environment. And great time to research something or to sort of plot and plan and get down at some kind of strategy. There could be more contacts from further afield, conversations with those at a distance, you thinking about those at a distance, and you may be connecting with somebody from a very different background to you, a cultural background or an area of expertise which you benefit from. And just watch out that on the 11th you don't overlook, on the practical side of things, you don't overlook something or misconstrue something or get cross wires there. There could be a little bit of confusion going on in your mind there. Until the 16th, Venus could manifest as an influence which helps you out materially to some degree. It could be major or minor. It's probably a more financially brighter time in relatively speaking, or it might not be finances. It might be an easier time for you with other sort of material ways. It's also a good time for you to pool resources with others, to collaborate. And definitely you will be able to benefit from somebody else's equipment, stuff, space, money, or maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe it's somebody else's emotional support. That's altogether likely with this position of Venus. And it looks as though you will have the material help or emotional rapport to keep you quite happy. In general, any negotiation or one-to-one type work could go your way. And maybe some of you will be shifting into more commitment, actually, and that depends on your natal chart, but also your ability to manifest what you want, Aries. And for some of you, your deeper feelings could be touched. And it's almost as though there's more riding on how well you and someone are getting on in a material sense, or maybe it's an emotional sense. And then from the 16th, places and faces at a distance may have more appeal than usual. And a relationship could be centered around or connected to travel, a foreign culture, or an academic or advice-giving type environment. And someone you connect with could be quite a good facilitator for you. Also, you yourself could be looked upon as the facilitator or information giver or teacher at this time. Long-distance relationships or sort of putting the word out over a bigger stage, publications, that kind of thing could be beneficial or benefit you materially, or communications in general could benefit you materially, and you and someone could launch into some sort of new enterprise or just, you know, get together and do something which is different. But on the 16th, you'll have to put yourself out a little bit more in a relationship, and put your own sort of desires maybe a little bit more on one side on that day. Now, until the 26th, you'll continue to put physical effort into achieving certain goals and ambitions. These may be career orientated or just via points on the way to wherever you're going, the future you. But overall, you have to be decisive, more decisive, energetic to reach certain targets. But Mars is going to help you to get things done, despite his tendency to be controversial. And some of you could be having a more robust interaction with some kind of parental figure or establishment figure, or somebody just that you feel is in a position of dominant position. Then from the 26th, Mars will be emphasizing a group dynamic. That's friends, that's getting together with others, that's activities with clients, colleagues, friends, acquaintances. For professional, it's just having a get together basically, but it could be also with special others, you know, kindred spirits. It's a very progressive period for you from the 26th, Aries, when the Mars energy is going to help you to initiate change and further something which has maybe been on the back burner or in the back of your mind for a very long time. And physical energy could be going into this, also into team collaborations, pooling energy, building new connections, and you could feel a bit overloaded at times with all the stuff you've got to do on behalf of others. And of course, this is after the 25th of December, but in the run-up to New Year's. So another angle is that information technology, networking and discussion forums are going to be highlighted. So this is, you know, get-togethers over the wires as well. Mars loves to initiate things and is quite happy to shove you out in front. So others could be looking to you for some kind of inspiration, direction, you know, your pearls of wisdom, whatever it is, you know, where shall we put this? And you may find yourself volunteered into something more assertive or energetic than you were expecting. Now, there are a number of other astrological aspects on the day of the solstice which I think are worth a mention, but I'm not going to do it here. I'll be talking about those, and also the bigger connotations of this new beginning time on our planet Earth on a separate video. And in conclusion, may I wish you a happy time during this festive season. And if you're not on my website already, you can see what the slow moving outer planets are doing. It's written up there. And find the forecast for your moon sign or your rising sign if you know what it is, because that can also give you another sort of thread to weave into the sort of picture here. And I will see you the next time.